Now on Race Hub. Bubba, thank you so much for joining us today and taking some time for us.
Yeah, absolutely. How's everybody doing?
We're good. We've obviously seen your thoughts on social media and obviously on the Instagram Live you did yesterday evening with Ty Dillon. But how have you processed everything that has kind of transpired throughout the course of the last week?
I don't know if you can really truly process it in such a short amount of time. There's a lot of pain, a lot of anger, that I carry. I carried it over in Sunday's race at Bristol. And it's just tough to see those types of things, and my whole mindset has shifted ever since the Ahmaud Arbery video came out a couple weeks ago. It just broke my heart in a way that it's never been broken before, and I'm slowly starting to piece it back together and try to figure out why is there so much hate in the world? Why can somebody wake up and accept the fact that they're taking someone's life and be okay with that? So there's a lot of work to be done in our community, but also just in the world to hopefully one day end racism like we all want to see.
You mentioned the mind shift there that happened for you. Is that the point where you kind of decided you wanted to be more vocal about what was happening in the world, Bubba?
Yeah, for sure. I was always silent on the matters, and looking back on that never was the right way, but it was tough. Sitting here, we represent so many brands, so many people. It takes so many people in our sport to make one team get to the track and have a full season and have a career. And as many people put in their profiles, my opinions are my own. You still represent more than just yourself. So it's something that I didn't necessarily throw away and say I don't care about what people say and who I represent, but it's more of standing up for what's right and hoping that my peers will back me up and just take a bigger initiative than what I did in the past. So it's definitely a lot, and it's tough to digest everything that's going on right now, and managing the racing side of everything. But it's something that the more vocal we are about it, and I mean we as in all of us in our community, we need all the drivers to speak up and stand up and speak up and voice their opinion, whether you're involved directly or indirectly. Your voice matters. I talked about this earlier with Dale Jr. and Chase Elliott. You don't know who's following you. You don't know who's looking up to you. It could be a person that carries hate in their life every day. It could be a person that goes through hate every day in their life. And words from you could change the outlook and how they think just by hearing you say something. So I encourage all of my peers, all of my competitors to step up and do better than what we have and continue to do that. Don't let this just go by like everything's okay. And I encourage the sanctioning body as well. I've been very vocal with them on how to be better. And so it's going to take a lot of work from all of us, but I'm proud to lead the forefront. It is a lot of work, but I'm more than ready to go through it all and help people who don't understand what it's like to be Black in America. I have no problem sharing my stories. I shared them last night and how to be better.
Bubba, almost 3 years ago to the day, you showed up at Pocono Raceway to drive the 43 for us. It was June 9th, 2017. So that hits home to me. And you talk about eye-opening and things that we don't understand, both in this sport and me personally. I understood a lot after just one practice session with you, and you really opened my eyes to say, it's different. I thought that whole week leading into you getting in that car, here's some young rookie who's going to stand on the gas. Good chance he's going to wreck the thing, and we're going to have to teach him how to go race a cup race. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that magnifying glass would be on you the way it was. And then I remember after that first practice, the rest of the team, myself thinking, this is different. You sharing DMs with me throughout our time together and the things that you have to deal with when you take the helmet off. That's something I never even realized. I was immune to. I didn't understand. Do you think that is a good representation of what the country is kind of going through right now? A lot of people not seeing what a black person and a black racer has to go through daily.
Yeah, for sure. My mentions and my timeline is filled with hate. And I've been wearing out the block button for the last month or so now. I've just been on it. And one bad thing. It doesn't even matter. Hey, good run, but whatever comes after that butt, block. It's just, I'm on it. But it's just something that people, you're always going to have your haters. Somebody is always going to try to knock you off your block. And you have to be able to accept that and grow from those moments. And I got really in depth with it earlier today, and I talked about how I use that stuff for motivation. Before, I was kind of overusing it and trying to do things that weren't really accomplishable at the time to try to prove my point. But now it's trying to get people to understand, like just sit back and listen to what you're saying, and then let me explain my side of it. Hopefully, give you a better understanding of what's going on. And then voice your opinion. We are very quick. I am guilty of it. We are very quick to see somebody from a distance and judge them, and come up with a whole scheme of things about that person before we even meet them. And then once you meet them, you're like, oh, that was the exact opposite. Whether it's a good interaction or a bad interaction, we're always so quick to judge. So I want to practice patience with people and listening. And opening our eyes and opening our ears and hearing the problems that we have, or that people go through. You don't know what kind of day people are having. You don't know. You say one wrong thing, and it triggers people these days. And the sensitivity level has just like magnified over the last couple of years. You say one wrong thing, and it's a war. It's a social war, and it comes to riots and stuff like this.
Bubba, I've always seen you, foremost, as an excellent race car driver. You're second in the Daytona 500. You finished third in the Brickyard 400. You know, that's the world that you and I share. But I've grown to love the inside view of Bubba Wallace. You're an inspiration. You're not afraid. I think you have as much courage as any race car driver I've ever met, because you weigh in on the heavy topics, the difficult topics, and this is obviously one today or this week. I'm curious because my life, particularly now outside of being a driver, my life is my family, and I'm curious, how much do you weigh in with your family and your mom? I know she's an important dynamic in your life.
That's a good question. I appreciate the kind word. Sorry, I'm going to pull up a message after the day after Mr. George Floyd lost his life. My mom sent, "Good morning. I pray as a mom of a black son that I never have to hear you crying out, 'I can't breathe.' I love you, Bubba, and your life matters to me."
So, front and center for me is that I measure myself on what kind of dad I am. And what you just shared about that text gives us inside glimpse of what kind of great mom you have. This week, my daughter, she's 28, she actually helped enlighten me on some of the craziness that's associated with what's going on, right? Like, you know, we refer to it as riots and looting. But my daughter, who's 28, reversed script on me. She's like, "All right, Dad, listen. It doesn't make sense, but what's going on got your attention, didn't it?" And I was just taken aback by that. I was like, yes, you're right. So help us understand some of that, you know, the craziness that's going on.
Yeah, I think, you know, where I stand is stuff. Sorry for the waterworks there. Where I stand is Black Lives Matter, obviously. Grown up in both worlds, black family, white family. I got to see both sides of the spectrum. got to see the hate, got to see the love, and it all come together. And it taught me a lot inside the family, and just whatever we dealt with, hearing stories that my mom went through when she was coming up as a kid, hearing stories from my dad, and then the whole nine. And it's tough because when I say Black Lives Matter, and I also say that all lives matter, because it's going to take all of us to come together as one to accomplish the mission that we're trying to get across. So it is tough. I've gone through my spiels with law enforcement and have been treated differently. And for me, it's just do whatever I can to get out of the situation quick and be pissed off about it and move on and whatnot. But, you never forget about those instances, and that's those moments where you think about, and you think about a lot lately. It's like one wrong move for me, and I wouldn't be here. Just think about that, and that scares the hell out of me. And so it's tough. But one thing I may backtrack. I understand the anger, the pain, the fear, everything that the African American community is going through, and as much as the violent riots and looting and stuff, I don't condone that at all. But at the same time, I'm not saying it's the African American community that's the only one that's doing it. It's a collective group that is destroying homes and communities where people from the same background worked all their life to bring it up, and it's being demolished. And I don't know if that's sending across the right message. So it's tough to see, the world in this spot. But all we can do is come together, like I said earlier, and try to fight the battle together and help each other understand what somebody's going through and how they deal with it and how you can help them. It's all about helping our neighbors, our brothers and our sisters.
Bubba, listening to you right there, I want to do better. I want to do better personally. I want our sport to do better. I want our country to do better. What would you tell myself, your coworkers, your peers? How can we be better in a situation like this?
Hey, McDowell, Bubba's faster. Let him go. That's how you can help me starting out.
Oh, I'm talking way bigger than that, bud.
Drew, we've been good friends even before we started driving 43. We worked indirectly together at Roush for a little bit, and I've always looked good as a great friend and a great competitor. And I think, that's like one of those on the spot questions, because everybody wakes up with different problems, and everybody has problems. Doesn't matter what color you are. You wake up and just some day is not your day, and you have to be that person to be able to listen. And if somebody comes up to you and, man, Drew, I need to talk to you about something, it doesn't even have to be about racing. You have to be that. You have to open up and let them share that information with you, and somehow, some way, have those words that are encouraging. And you're a great leader. I've seen that in our rookie year in the 43 car. You're a great leader, so you have that capability. And I encourage you to keep being that positive leader, and hopefully your peers and people under you can see that and they adapt to that. So for you, buddy, I think you've been a great job. You've done a great job, and I know we're talking about mostly racing stuff, but that carries over into everyday life. We be mindful of other people and be, loving and caring to other people. The whole waking up and just hate, this shouldn't exist. We just have to eliminate it from people's mindset. Hate is taught. We have to unteach hate. The magic answer to do that, we're all figuring it out together.
Bubba, you mentioned getting the support from your peers, and today the hashtag Blackout Tuesday is all over social media, including from many in the NASCAR community. Everyone posting just a black image as a reminder to reflect and, of course, reconnect with the community. So how does that kind of make you feel, seeing all those posts like that, many of them coming from your fellow drivers?
Yeah, no, I think that it was big. I was really proud of NASCAR for stepping up and delivering that message. And I know it's small and there's really no words to it, but it delivers a powerful message. I do still think there is more to be done with our drivers to voice their opinion and use their platforms more. The more vocal is only going to help. Sitting silent and letting it pass is not the way to go, and it's only going to set our sport back more and more, which is the exact opposite of what we need from where we were a month ago. So while I think it's great, it's a big movement. It's a national, global movement right now that we all participated in, but we have so many followers and people looking at our platforms every day that our voice weighs over much more people, and we have to use our voice. We have to use our words. So again, encourage all the drivers to continue to support this matter, support what we are trying to accomplish, and just keep doing more.
Well, Bubba, thank you for your honesty, your transparency, and discussing your perspective with us. I don't know what it's like to be in your shoes, but I do know from listening to your message and the message from others in the Black community that I've learned so much more than I ever have before. So thank you for having the courage to share your voice. It's a very important one.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
For more great NASCAR on Fox content, subscribe to our channel. It's somewhere right around here.